What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Retro Hoop Collectibles. This is it's not going to be a very long episode because it's not, anything big or grandiose or anything, but this is a very interesting episode because every now and then you'll come across like these funky little things that you're like, I wonder why. I wonder why this is how it is. And this is no exception. And specifically, this is something that, as a 90s basketball guy, I find to be very, very amusing, a little bit surprising. But it has to do with a particular card that is seemingly inconspicuous. It's a card that you wouldn't imagine that would have the type of volume that we're looking at. And this is going to be a kind of a very interactive, I don't want to say interactive, but I'm really looking for you guys in the comments to kind of give me some insight on what you guys think is going on here. So we'll jump right into it. So this is your normal dashboard on the Card Hedge website. If you want to sign up, link is in the description. Big supporter of the channel. So if you guys want to take a look, you can visit the website, get comps for free, all that good stuff. There's all kinds of functionality that they have here. You guys know I normally like to jump into the compare tool. That's where I apparently ruffled some feathers last week or earlier this week. Or man, you guys got upset. But I knew I was going to ruffle some feathers, and that's okay. But anyhow, aside from this compare tool, one of the things, if you just go straight to card prices, and as you default into the card prices or the card search, like the library, where you can search whatever players you want. There's over 170,000 cards in their library now in the actual database. You can get pricing for. It's insane. 170,000 individual different cards that are on this Card Hedge tool that will give you sales history if it's there. 170,000 cards. Jesus. Anyway, what I want to focus on, me and my man JD, we did a video last night chatting about normal stuff, and he sends me a text message. We talked about this last night, but he sends me a text message today, and he goes, man, this card has been, it just won't die. It won't come down from the top in terms of volume. And the card that I'm talking about, as you can see, this is labeled as all cards. So all cards, for all cards, they got different categories here that you can go. I could look at just basketball on its own if I really wanted to. For basketball, it's absolutely the top in terms of volume. So over the last 7 days, 125 of this particular card has moved, has sold, has traded hands. In the last 30 days, 461 sales of this card. The next card in basketball is half of that almost. Yeah, about half of that in the last 30 days. A little more than half in the last 7 days. But just in the last 7 days, 125 of this again, seemingly inconspicuous, 1990 Fleer Michael Jordan, number 26. It's a very basic card. I got one. You guys can kind of see it a little bit. It's right there. Sorry, little Luca. It's a really basic card. I mean, the junkiest of the junk wax, I would say. Yet, for some reason, this card, over the last 7 days, has sold 125 times, almost double what the next largest volume card sold for, which is the Cade Cunningham in this case. But if you go back and look at all the cards, I mean, if you go back looking at all the cards, it still beat out the Derek Jeter rookie card by 10 sales. Now, the last 30 days, this Derek Jeter's got him beat. But it's the only card. It's between this one and Derek Jeter. And it's been at the top for a very long time. There's nothing special about this card. Once again, the junkiest of the junk wax era, right? At the height of the junk wax era, 92, 93, 90, 91, 92, 93. Some people would argue 94, 95. But I mean, this is just a complete representation of junk wax era in terms of cards, you know. But for some reason, and that may be why it sells so much. I mean, I'm kind of telling my own story here, right? Look at the pop reports. 21,000 graded in a PSA 9, 5,300 in a PSA 10, 11,000 in a PSA 8, and then it goes on and on and on from there. But I mean, I don't know. I was pleasantly surprised to see that this card, you know, would be such a high volume card over the last 30 days and over the last 7 days. I have no real reason why. I mean, one of them is probably because there's so many of them out there. There's just so many of them out there. It is junk wax. The 1990 Fleer boxes, what are those going for? Let's see here. 1990, 91 Fleer basketball cards. Man, they're going for a pretty penny. Yeah, they're going for a pretty penny, I would say. Oh, I messed all this up, didn't I? I did. That's okay. We'll figure it out. So let's take a look at the old eBays. 1990, 91 Fleer. Sealed. They're not sealed. Fleer basketball box. Yeah, they're about $80 a box. They're about $80 a box for a relatively new box. $153 BBCE wrapped for whatever that's worth to you. You know, there's some sketchiness going on there recently. With how reliable they can be, but I mean, again, we're talking about junk wax boxes that don't really have a whole lot of value in them, and you know, you can pull one of these Jordans. But one other thing I wanted to look at. If you look at the price between a PSA 10 and a PSA 9, I mean, we're talking about, what is that? 8x, 7x, 7.5x. So 7.5 times more money if you hit a PSA 10 as opposed to a PSA 9. And right now, there really isn't that much distinguishing one from the other in terms of a raw card. I don't think. It's very subjective, one or the other. I mean, there's going to be things like centering and stuff like that'll bump you from one left to the right. But, you know, if you just want a good example of the card in your collection and you're feeling like that $233 just really isn't something that you want to swing, PSA 9 for $32, I'll get the job done, in my opinion. But just a very interesting situation with this card and how it sat at the top for seemingly the last 30 days. I did a video using the SGC, using the card hedge tool, like a month and a half ago, and there it was sitting up at the top, for no particular reason. But I mean, it's cool. It's definitely, you know, readily available. It's a card that's readily available. The wax, in order to hit a card like that, is relatively cheap. And if you're a vintage guy like me, or I don't want to say vintage, but if you're a 90s basketball guy like me, grew up in that era, there's a whole lot of nostalgic fun that you can have ripping, you know, an $80 or $85 box of 90 Fleer basketball. $150 if you want to have some assurance that it wasn't dug through and your Jordans were taken out. But hey, all right, we'll jump off of here. More. I really think that as we are getting out of this madness that was COVID and 2019, 2020, 2021, we're going to start seeing more stuff like this, in my opinion. More people kind of getting back into maybe not the hype, but maybe what they liked. And obviously Jordan being the GOAT, why not? You know what? And to be fair, it's a pretty good looking card. I mean, Jordan, tongue out, slam dunking, Pippen in the back. Iconic. I mean, iconic Jordan doing Jordan things. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Is there anything else that I'm kind of overlooking as to why this card is so popular? I'd like to hear about it. 461 sales in the last 30 days. Isn't that crazy? Absolutely crazy. Love to hear from you. Thank you guys for watching as always. Hit the comment, hit the like, hit the subscribe, all that good jazz. We'll catch y'all in the next video. Love y'all. Peace.